Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to cut out what you need, fabric and notions, to make the ponytail scrub cap and face mask. First thing is to print out the pattern. The instructions are there. You should have received those. You should have been able to print these out on your printer. Make sure you choose actual size in the dialog box, and when you put them together, butt the edges together, don't overlap, don't cut anything off. That is how it will end up being exactly the right size. You know, printers don't print right out to the edge, but the image technically does go to the edge of the paper. So you can see how it comes together, especially you can tell in that angled part. So that one's taped, ready to cut out. And here's piece B, same thing, butt them together. And double check the lengths on these. The other one was 17 3/8, this one's 22 1/2. If they're not right, you want to go back and check your printer settings and make sure you've got that on actual size, printing out that PDF. All right, so cutting them all out. And they're ready to cut your fabric. Here's the length again, 17 3/8, I believe, by 22 and something. It's on there. And now you double check those lengths. So these are ready to be cut out. Now I'm going to show you how to lay out your pattern along with the face mask pattern. See, if you do this, you'll have that fabric off to the side that's not well utilized. So move your fold over to the left and then adjust it so that the pattern piece goes on the fold and that it fits properly. But see, to the right now, you've got enough there to cut out your face mask, a couple of them. And you may end up being able to cut out 3 actually. All right, so pin it on. The top edge was nice and straight, so I just put it right up against the edge. You could, of course, can also use a rotary cutter. I just weigh it down with something. After you finish cutting this out, make some 1/8 inch snip marks top and bottom there on the fold. And then snip these two as well, just about 1/8 inch in. All right, now pull it out. You can see that piece B goes right there. And after the piece is cut out, you're going to put a little snip right where that flashing arrow is. And if you slide it over, you're going to see you've got plenty of room for 2, as I said, possibly 3 face masks. Just depends on your fabric. You know, they vary a little bit in their width. So here are the notions that you'll need. This is from papermart.com. It's not been easy to find Grossgrain. I think it's a little easier now, but at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, you couldn't find it. Cutting these at 18 inches. Papermart.com. This 50-yard spool was about, I think it was less than $5. So if you've shopped for ribbon, you know that's a deal. I bought quite a few different colors. So now I'm using the lighter to just lightly melt the edge. You don't want this to fray when you're washing it or when you're wearing it. So you just barely drag it along the edge. And you should be able to feel it. It melts it just a tiny bit. You can feel it beating up on the edge. See there, it's not beaded up enough. So I'm going to just hit it again, just gently, and kind of tap it almost. See, I'm tapping that edge, and now that feels right. So the ribbon is ready. Next thing, here's the a way to do it if you're going to make a lot of them. This is 18 inches around, so every time you go around once, it's 18. Then you can cut it. You just run your scissors through that groove. Now we're going to cut our elastic. I'd say cut it off at about 5 inches if you're going to use a pin, a safety pin on the end to guide it through the casing. You won't use all 5 inches, but it's a good length to work with. It's been difficult finding elastic in the fabric stores during the COVID pandemic, so I have provided here another option, and that's using a hair tie. You can cut it right where it's joined there, that little mark where it's joined, and you tie knots at both ends. Here's a thicker one. You can find the thicker ones as well. Sometimes the thick ones are hard to get the safety pin through, so what I'd recommend is tying a piece of string or some heavy thread on it, and then knotting it around a safety pin and pulling it through that way. There's another option. This is what I do. I put a long piece on a yarn needle because I do a number of these, so I just keep that next to my sewing machine. So there's your 3 pieces of elastic, and if you want to put face mask buttons on the inside and outside of your cap to save your ears, these are a great option. I found 20 millimeter clear plastic 2-hole buttons on Amazon, and I will include the link in the description.